Hey Connor,
Yeah, what's up?
you want me to give you a preview of the next song for TS Underswap?
Sure, man. Uh, Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Rec Room Podcast. I'm your host, Connor, and today with me I have a very special guest, leader of Team Switched, Beethovenus. Say hello,
That's me.
Beethovenus.
Hey, hello Beethovenus.
Ah, thanks for coming on, man. It's a pleasure.
No problem. It's good to be here.
Yeah. So, Uh, Obviously, unfortunately, Brandon cannot join us today for personal reasons. He has elected to not be in this episode, but that's fine. That's okay. We can make our own fun.
Yeah, make our own podcast.
Um, so Beethovenus, how has
Mhm.
your day been going so far?
Well, it's been good. Right now, I'm just eating some pastaroni.
That's pretty
Really good.
cool. That's nice.
You
That's
should
good
get
to hear.
pastaroni to sponsor your podcast. It's really good.
Bye. I've,
It's
I've
really good. The boxes are just like $1.30 something, and they're really easy to make in just the microwave. It's delicious.
I'm
I'm
sure they
having
would be
garlic and olive
delighted.
oil vermicelli. It's really good.
I'm sure they would be delighted to sponsor my 750 subscriber, 25 subscriber YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's how they make bank.
um, well, it's very good to have you. Beethovenus, as I said, is the leader of Team Switched. So if you want to explain what you guys are and what you do, feel free to do that.
All right, cool. So, Team Switched is a group of it's an international group of aspiring or amateur indie game developers, and right now we're working on an Undertale fan game called TS Underswap, which stands for Team Switched Underswap. And it was originally based on the community created alternate universe Underswap, which swaps around character roles. And what we ended up doing from that is we took the basic premise of swapping the character roles, but rather than changing the characters' personalities to fit the role that they were filling, we retained their personalities and characteristics from the original game and had the story change as a result around that, while also throwing in some original concepts like characters, reimagined areas, new plot points, mechanics, stuff like that.
Yes, and if you've been subscribed to my channel for a while, you would know that I'm no stranger to these kinds of concepts. We're big nerds over here. We're big nerds on this corner of the internet.
I like corners.
What's your favorite corner? What's your favorite kind of corner?
It's this one. It's the corner that my bed is in because it's really comfy over there.
All right. Well, while I have you on, I actually had. I'm just gonna roll right into the first question that I have here for you.
Okay,
Um,
dope.
you are the leader of Team Switched, as I
Yep.
understand. How long have you been the leader of TS for?
Ooh. So, do you mind if I? Well, easy answer to the question. I've been the leader for about 4 years now. Longer answer to the question. I originally joined back in 2016 when I was 16. Jesus. Um, to help replace some sprites from a leaving team member and to contribute writing. And from there, I became one of the lead developers who I want to say that I did a vast majority of the writing. I did a lot of like directing with the art, and I also was like the community relations person who like managed the game Jolt page and social media and like responded to people and stuff. So I took on a pretty big role. I want to say from late 2016 to sometime in 2017ish. And then I ended up leaving the team in the Undertale community for I want to say a yearish for personal reasons. And due to chance, I ended up coming back. Sorry, I got to clear my throat.
You're fine.
Geez, sorry. I ended up coming back by chance, and one thing led to another. I ended up rejoining the team, and things had been going like pretty slow when I rejoined. And like as soon as I joined, I started working on stuff and like uh, get like helping like get people to work on things, and I ended up the previous leader, Gran, she ended up asking me if I wanted to take over as team lead, and I ended up doing that. So ever since 2018, I've been the team lead.
Yeah, because I understand that back when you originally joined, or maybe even before that, the sort of scope or concept for the fan game was very different.
Yeah, because originally it was just an Underswap fan game. And over time we wanted to. Over time, it was a combination of like becoming dissatisfied with just doing Underswap and wanting to do kind of more of our own thing. But also like wanting to do something that's a bit of a love letter to the original game, and um, it was definitely inspired by other AUs like Story Shift and Inverted Fate,
Mm.
with some of that change. But I feel like it wasn't those AUs specifically that encouraged us to do it, but it was more of our own personal preferences at the time, and just wanting to kind of like explore something that we felt was more interesting. Not to say that the original concept of Underswap isn't interesting at all. It's just that we wanted to do something different.
Yeah, yeah, because there are. I've played it myself. There are a lot of differences between base Underswap and team switched Underswap, and I think the nuances of the differences can be a little bit not so much lost to a lot of people, but I think that it requires certain you have to kind of change your thinking when it comes to like picking out the differences between takes of AUs and stuff like that.
I mean, to be fair, you do need to have a very IQ that understands the difference.
Yes, of course, but with Buff Asgore and the like.
Do you even lift human?
Do you? I don't. I don't know. I
You're
hadn't
gonna have to
considered
put
it.
the image on screen when
I'm
I say
going
it.
to have to do that. That is, I'm going to have to do that now.
I'll
You guys
send
are
it to
no
you.
stranger to shit posting.
That's how we
um,
come up with our best ideas.
yeah. So the demos, God, the demos, first demo's been out for just about a year and a half now, and you guys are coming up on the second demo pretty soon, right?
um, so for interviewing purposes, so we're not coming up on the second demo just yet.
Oh, okay.
Right now we're still working on Starlight Isles, and
Right, right.
we've started preliminary stuff for Crystal Springs too. So the current plan is we're going to finish up Starlight Isles. Right now we're currently on the village. We still have a bit of I think it's like a little bit of pre-village stuff to finish up. Um, but we, for all intents and purposes, we've finished a vast majority of all of Stardust Woods, all of Coffin Keep, besides like probably a few attacks maybe for Coffin Keep, I think. Um, but yeah, Stardust Woods, Coffin Keep, and so we're currently working on Starstruck Village. We currently have all of the village exteriors in. We're working on making the building interiors. I've been doing a lot of work with plotting out where all of the NPCs are going to go. We're working on stuff like writing for the NPCs, writing out like certain cutscenes and interactions, some script stuff, and let's see. We recently got the village theme finished, which is really cool. I can't
Ooh.
wait to. I can't wait for people to hear that eventually. But yeah, the whole plan is to finish off Stardust Woods, try and wrap up Starlight Isles, get everything polished and everything, and then move on to Crystal Springs.
That's pretty exciting that you've gotten that much work done.
Yeah, like we still have a good bit to go. And lately it's been kind of slow just because people in general are busy, and this is just a hobbyist project. It's not
Yeah,
like an
yeah.
actual game, so like not that like people aren't as committed, but like obviously like you're going to be more committed to something that's an actual job over a hobbyist thing.
Right,
Um,
yeah, I get that.
yeah, so it's been a little slower, but I'm still really happy with the progress that we're making, and each person on the team has made just like fantastic contributions that honestly this no matter how big or small this project would not be what it is without the contributions of every single member on this team,
Yeah, and
even the people
you
who have
definitely can
recently
feel it.
joined. Yeah, I mean even the people who have just recently joined have done a lot, like in terms of whether it's like coming up with concept art for something or helping with ideas or writing. It's like every single person has made an important contribution.
Right, yeah. Speaking of the development, what sort of issues in game development has the team encountered that you didn't really expect to come up?
I guess to answer that, I'll go back a bit to the project from around 2016 to 2018. Um, Back then, it had really gone through development hell because it was a bunch of kids trying to make an Underswap game and not understanding like what the intricacies of game development are, and a lot of different things. Of course, like coders were scarce. I know I went over this in the under event video. From pandemic has messed with my concept of time a year, 2 years ago,
Yeah,
something like that.
excuse me if I ask questions that you've already answered a million times already.
No, it's okay. I like answering questions. I like talking about TS. Um, where was I with this? Yeah. But I guess that over the course of 2016 to 2018, there were just a lot of things that uh, we needed to figure out in terms of how game development works with like motivating people to work on the project, having like a consistent structure and workload, making sure that we understood the scope of the project so we didn't get way too ambitious, making sure we had things planned out so we didn't run in without understanding what we were doing, making sure that, well, I think I already said this, but like making sure we structured everything, just like a whole bunch of like really basic fundamentals when it comes to like the organization of developing a game.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then in 2018 is pretty much when the actual development kicked off, I'd say. Like 2018, from 2018 to 2020 was pretty much like the actual development of the Ruined Home demo. So it took us 2 years for that. And I guess
Wow.
a lot of what we needed to understand again went along with things like project scope and amount of time that we took on certain things. Because, I mean, for all intents and purposes, Ruined Home had technically taken us 5 years, even though it actually took us two. And then
Yeah.
there were things like the City of Old, which the City of Old was massive. We've come up with a rule that like we're not doing another City of Old because it was just too big.
So have you
Um,
scaled back your sort of vision for the game?
I don't think we have. I think that our vision overall has been pretty realistic. There are some things that we have scaled back or things that we cut. Nothing that was like major to the story or anything, just like some side stuff. Um, because like at times we'll either like cut something and repurpose it, or we'll scale something back and reincorporate elements of it. Because I don't like, even though like scrapping stuff is a natural part of game dev, I don't like scrapping things, and I feel like if we have people who make something, I want to use it in some capacity.
Right, yeah, because you have a
So
lot of, you have a lot of ideas and you want to share all of them with your community.
yeah, so like within reason and everything. So we'll usually come up if we have conflicting ideas. We'll usually like talk it through and come up with a compromise, and like reincorporate certain things or other stuff. Like I like to get a lot of feedback from different people on the theme or the team and everyone's like thoughts and ideas and everything. So I'm straying too much from the original question, but I
You're
guess to
fine.
answer it succinctly, a lot of things that we needed to figure out in terms of game dev were things like working as a team, like coming up with compromises when we have conflicting ideas and working through that, understanding the scope of the project, scaling things back when needed, understanding what to cut and how to reincorporate cut stuff, and stuff like that.
Yeah, like what sort of things have you reincorporated, so to speak? Like, are you talking game mechanics, actual sprites?
A bunch of stuff. Usually like a lot of ideas and some assets. Like, um, I know that one of the things that we've done, which I've talked about this publicly in the past already, so it's fine for me to discuss it, is Sans went through a lot of different character designs over the years,
There's the
and
first name drop of that guy. Get ready to
but
hear him a lot more in this video.
oh boy, I can't wait for that. Sans.
Oh god. That's
But
probably been very annoying to
nah,
hear a
it's
lot
fine.
about.
Nah, it's fine. I like hearing about Crossbones, but
He's pretty cool.
yeah. Words. You're gonna be cutting stuff anyways, unless you don't cut this, in which I'll be mad at you. Um,
I'm just gonna put text up on the screen that just says "Stay mad."
fuck you. Um, let's see.
No, you were talking about how Sans went through a lot of changes in
Oh
development.
yeah. Sorry. So, Sans went through a lot of different character designs, and one of the things that we did is we made all of his old designs canon as Crossbones'
That's
prototype
right, you
outfits.
did.
Yeah, so in his little like Crossbones cave, we're gonna have like a bunch of like kind of like Robbie Rotten style like costume tubes that have like all of his old outfits. Like you know in Lazy Town when
Yeah,
Robbie
I know
Rotten would like
exactly
go
what you're
through
talking
and he'd look
about.
at all of his outfits, he'd be like, too skinny, too fat, too something like adjectives,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever. We're gonna have like a bunch of like costume tubes that have like all of his prototype outfits in there, and he'll comment on each of them when you interact with it. Um,
That's great.
which that'll be cool.
That sounds
And it's
amazing.
like we won't be able to like have all of the designs, just because like the room would be too big if we did that. But we'll probably like pick out a few like key standouts of like designs that were public, and we'll have those.
That's interesting. That's yeah, cuz I know that for a lot of creators it can be really difficult to sort of find like the sort of just right area in character design where you don't want to have it too complicated, too colorful, like too simple or too plain because and that's where a lot of people can sort of get stuck in a redesign loop. Um,
Yeah,
but it's really cool that you guys have found stuff that really works after all this time.
yeah, because I guess we not that our like main focus was having like memorable designs, but like Undertale honestly has pretty simple designs
Yeah.
when you think about it. They're not over the top. I mean, like Sans just wears like a hoodie. um Alphys just wears a lab coat. Like, and you have like more complex, like you have Undyne with her armor and everything, and Papyrus's battle body. But honestly, like core, a lot of the designs are pretty simple, but they're memorable. And designs don't have to be over the top to be memorable or anything.
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess like what we wanted to make sure is when designing the characters, we designed their outfits and such in regards to their personalities, the context of the story, and how, I guess in terms of color palettes, like making sure it wasn't too muddled, making sure that they were balanced and everything.
God, color
Um,
theory sucks.
yeah, but we wanted to have character designs that were easily recognizable and like you could say
Hmm.
like, oh, that's from TS Underswap and everything,
Yeah, that
but
is
without being
definitely.
too
Yeah,
much. Yeah.
yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's okay. Like, I know if you know that old character or that old cast reference image that Treppy made that we
Um.
still have. It's the one that has like
Yeah,
Asgore with hands in
yeah.
pockets and all of that. Yeah, Treppy. I actually asked her, or she's actually in the process of working on a new one that has all of the updated character designs and stuff.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so I'm excited for whenever she ends up finishing that. Because I know that she's like pretty busy and everything, but I'm
Yeah.
really excited because I know that I think she had mentioned wanting to do that before, and I'm really excited to see what she comes up with that because I know we only have like sprite refs of a
Mm.
lot of the character designs, but I'm really excited to see like all the character designs next to one another and everything because I always love it when people make fan art and everything. I love seeing people draw our character designs,
Yeah.
so I'm excited for that.
It's always a nice thing to see fans be inspired by something that you've made.
Yeah,
Um,
that makes me really happy. I won't go on too much since I know you want to ask me more questions, but
no, you're fine.
I always
Please, by all
oh
means.
I was just gonna say that I always love seeing the fan works that people will make and love hearing that we've inspired people to create something. And I always love like whenever somebody makes fan art or anything, I love to like retweet it and like boost it. So just
Yeah.
as a like show of appreciation because I it's
It's a
Where
great thing. It's a really awesome feeling.
it is.
I remember
Oh
the
yeah.
first time I someone actually drew fan art of the distrust video that I made
Oh yeah,
when
yeah.
I put it up, and it's such a great feeling to see people like really appreciate what you make and what you do.
Yeah, and it's like it's very flattering. It's just really nice to see, and so it's like whenever people make fan art, I love to like give something back to them and show them that appreciation and everything. And I always like to like if it's on Twitter, like retweet people's fan art, so then like like their other art will get attention and everything too.
Exactly.
I always just like giving something back.
Yeah, it's really great. One thing I was curious about, what is the thing that you're like, either have been or like past or future, like the thing you're most excited for about Team Switched Underswap?
Ooh.
You don't have to if there's that one thing that that you're really excited about, but you don't want to reveal, then you can just talk about stuff that you already have revealed.
It's hard for me to talk about what I am excited for, like point it down to one thing, because ultimately I'm excited for everything.
Yeah.
But I guess the some of the things I'm really excited for. First of all, I'm really excited for when people eventually get to see Starlight Isles and then Crystal Springs. Because I've been doing a lot of work with like figuring out like the pacing of Crystal Springs and the outlining of the area and the progression and character interactions and like mechanics and everything. Like there's a certain mechanic for the area that I'm really excited to see what people think of, especially towards the end. I am I won't say what the mechanic is, but it's really cool how it's incorporating different elements of things that I won't. It's something that hasn't even been done in Deltarune yet. I don't think.
Really?
Um, but it definitely draws some inspiration of something from Deltarune, something from Undertale, and combines it together. So I'm really excited for that, and especially with how like it's introduced over the course of Crystal Springs, with how you get to one part and you're using a thing, and then you get to another part and it introduces that mechanic in conjunction with another one, and then by the end of the area you're using that mechanic as part of an integral thing. And I'm really excited for the I guess the payoff that's going to come with that, because I really think that it'll be a big standout moment.
Sounds
um,
awesome.
so I'm excited for that.
That sounds really cool. Looping back to sort of character designs and stuff, there are a lot of newly introduced boss battles in the first demo, and I was wondering, like, how do you find? I know obviously for the Ruined Knights, you've got like the Hollow Knight inspiration there and stuff, but how does the team find the inspiration for newer characters like that?
um That's a good question. I feel like we just kind of come up. Oh my God, what the hell is that in? I'm sorry. I'm just gotta send this to you and then I'll
All
get back
right,
to that question.
yeah, let's see it real quick.
Yeah, here you go.
Oh my god, that's terrifying. Who did
Yeah.
this? Who did this?
I want to say me and Gran did this like years ago. Oh God, this is horrifying.
That's
Um,
horrible.
yeah. Um, but what we were talking about.
Like inspiration for new characters.
Okay, so I feel like a lot of the time when we come up with new characters, it's just kind of like a spur of the moment thing, and it's like, oh my God, that's awesome, let's do that. Because I know with the Ruined Knights, it's really funny. So I think when plans weren't as solid, I think the Greasers were going to be the midpoint boss.
Really?
Um, yeah, but I think that originally the plan is that instead of Bugger Pant, we were going to have like a fire NPC or something that would have had like a burger cart or something that was tipped over, like he was transporting stuff to Groby's, and the Greasers would have like cornered him and were like bullying him or something, and he would have stepped in. So the Greasers would have been a midpoint fight, but we felt that since the city was an area that was at the end, it would have been better to have them there, instead of just in the middle of ruins. Which I feel like what we could have done. is made Ruined Home a bit different and feel like just a giant city or something instead
Mhm.
of like a really long puzzle gauntlet and everything. Because yeah, because well, nah, it's fine. Because Ruined Home starts off pretty similar to Ruins, just to establish a sense of familiarity and stuff. But if I would have wanted to do something different, it could have been like making Ruined Home a bit more different, like a big city. But I digress. So Greasers were originally going to be the midpoint boss. Then we figured, it'd be better to have them in the city. So then we're faced with like, well, Metacrit's going to be in the city. Greasers are going to be in the city. We don't have any kind of like mini boss to break up the monotony of the puzzles and the random encounters, and we want to make sure that we pace things properly.
Yeah.
So I think it was the debug battle theme that Colin made. I really liked it, and I actually I was like, it'd be cool if we like used it for an actual enemy. So I started coming up with like bug enemies or whatever, and they went through like different iterations and concepts and everything. I can try and find some of the concept art on.
I love that. I
Let me
love
see.
looking at like concept art for stuff. It's always very interesting to me.
I don't know if I have it on my phone. Oh wait, I do. I do. Okay. So here was the original concept art that I did for the Ruined Knights.
Oh wow, that is very similar to how they look now. That's surprising.
And here's Trezzy kind of cleaned them up and everything.
Yeah.
And then here's actually a scrapped attack that never made it in that Trezzy also designed.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess the yeah, because I have some like other sketches somewhere. They like look really different. Like rather than being a bunch of knights, I think I was taking the angle of like a more timid looking bug or something.
Uh-huh.
And I forget what it was, but I ended up like making them more Whimsalot inspired. Um, but yeah, we ended up just kind of like going in a completely different direction and like having like this kind of ragtag team of vigilante bug knights that are like kind of Hollow and Shovel Knight inspired. And then their whole theme we had like kind of like really Final Fantasy esque inspired. Like I'm trying
Yeah.
to remember what the name of that theme is. It's one of the boss themes. It's like the one that goes like da 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 do
I don't
do
know
do
anything about
do do.
Final Fantasy, so I can't help
Yeah,
you there.
no, I'm pretty sure that when I was like writing stuff for them before like their battle theme was even done, I had that Final Fantasy theme in mind. So yeah,
Yeah, that's so like you pull inspiration from a lot of other like media and just sort of games and stuff that exists. Like you look at um I, I don't know. Like you
I guess oh, sorry. I was just gonna say. I guess it depends because, like, we come up with an idea like, oh, that would be cool to do. Let's do it, and then it can like expand off of there, and we'll
yeah.
come up with like more ideas. But we definitely do draw inspiration from like other games and stuff as like fun little references and points of inspiration and everything. Like with the Ruin Knights, just cool little things there. Um,
Yeah.
and uh, yeah, and then like sometimes when we end up coming up with ideas, we draw inspiration from our own stuff. Like when I heard the debug battle theme, and I'm like, it'd be cool if we use that. And then we like come up with an idea, but then the idea completely changed, and we made our own theme and everything. So it's just a matter of like coming up with ideas and then like building on them and like finding new things to do, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like there are, for some reason, I keep seeing people who are like vehemently opposed to using references and like inspiration and that sort of thing. And I feel like a lot of creators out there could benefit from the tip of like, no, gather like a bunch of stuff that you like and just draw images
Yeah,
out of the stuff that you like. And from there, you can sort of use that as a springboard into your
yeah.
own ideas and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's completely fine. I mean, whenever we reference stuff, we don't do it where it's like very, very obvious, like
Right.
I am the Shovel Knight or whatever.
Yeah.
We
It's just
we we like
just
we
pull a
draw.
complete yandere dev.
Oh God, don't let's not even. But I guess like rather than like leaning like making. I'm trying to think. We draw inspiration from design notes and like shit. How do I word this? Not that we don't make references obvious, but we draw inspiration from things rather than making hard references.
Yeah.
So, like with the Ruined Knights, we didn't want them to like. We just drew inspiration from some things with the kind of feel we wanted for them.
It is a fine line between homage and copyright theft, I suppose.
Well, not
Um,
the copyright, because I know like Inverted Fate has the really cool like trial segment and everything, which
mhm.
is very Ace Attorney esque. And
Yeah,
that's not copying or anything. Like it's inspiration because it definitely has its own unique things, but it is like very Ace Attorney like. And I guess like we don't not like I'm trying to think.
you did.
We when it comes to like the things that we take inspiration of, we don't want to go like way too in like that.
Yeah, I
But
you just have a it's just differing ideas about how to like reference something and pay an
yeah,
homage to it. Whereas I Inverted Fate, I really like Inverted Fate.
it's a
I
different
it's
it's a
not
different format. It's a comic.
yeah
So like you can do a lot more with a comic as
right.
opposed to a game where you have to like consider like uh things like gameplay flow and other things. So yeah.
Exactly, exactly. You have to sort of go about it a different way than
Yeah.
than like other people do, which is fine. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that.
But at the end of the day there's like absolutely nothing wrong with like taking heavy inspiration doing uh big references or like like really obvious references because I love the Inverted Fate trial segment. I love a lot of the stupid like very obvious references like nothing like a good jelly filled donut and the annoying dog going super saiyan and everything. It's stupid and I love stupid.
Hmm.
It's fun. Like
Yeah,
I know that was TS. We don't want to have like huge pop culture references or anything, and or like not pop culture. I mean, like we don't want to have like any like huge like memes or anything, or like get uh like too direct with certain things,
maybe
or
it's
at
the way
least
you dressed.
oh god, like when we reference stuff, we want to make sure it won't like age poorly.
Right,
Um,
yeah.
but what was I feel
Which
like there was
is very important when you're referencing
although
something, quite frankly.
although to be fair, Toby fought like well I mean I guess Smash Brothers isn't something that would be dated. That's a universal thing, so it's fine to reference that. I mean, at
Yeah,
the end of the day, it's fine to reference anything, but you just want to make sure it's not something like a very obviously passing meme.
well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. There are a lot of big corporations that try to write out, like, the meme of the month, so to speak, and just farm a few likes on Twitter. And there's a big difference between doing that and referencing, like, a very well known series of games that will probably exist in media for the next,
Oh yeah,
like, few years and stuff. And
like Ace Attorney and like Dragon
exactly,
Ball. Yeah,
exactly. And it's. I
be
God,
a
I
lot
just
different if it was frickin' Big Chungus or
yeah,
something.
exactly. Like you do the thing that Space Jam 2 did and just like go full in with the references where or you could do like you I feel like it's the difference between again with the Ruined Knights like drawing inspiration from Shovel Knight and sort of having that be the homage whereas you literally just have Bugs Bunny turn into Big Chungus in front of LeBron James.
I don't know about you, but I'm really excited to have Doctor Coffin Coffeeus in the game. He'll do a little dance,
Dr.
sing
Mike
a little song.
Dr. Mike
Doctor
Coffin
Coffin
Coffeeus.
Doctor Coffin Coffeeus, yeah,
Yeah.
Coffeeus.
That's oh my god. Morbius reopening in theaters a second time only to gain like $8,000 will never not be the funniest thing to happen.
Yeah, Coffeeus in theaters for the 10th consecutive time.
Dude, I'd pay to watch
Made with
Dr.
help by
Coffin Coffeeus.
made by help with MTC Productions.
Yeah, exactly. Um so sort of excuse me if you've answered this already, but
Very good.
for things like very very far in the future, this is probably not something that you guys are thinking about doing anytime soon, but like games other than TS Underswap, what is the team's plan for like the future after that?
I mean, we definitely have thought about like different little concepts here and there. We've considered participating in game jams whenever it wouldn't interfere with development too much. We've considered things like platformer games, RPGs. What we want to do when we're eventually done with TS is we want to create whenever we want to create like a series of like little tech demos or whatever that are like we want to like come up with a concept for a game and create like a short little tech demo for it and like release them and then figure out like what worked, what didn't, kind of gauge things, and then what we can do is we can take some of those tech demos and we can kind of refine them into an actual game. Like I noticed one concept I had was for like an RPG where like you could go into the files and like delete characters, like kind of Doki Doki esque.
Oh, like one shot.
Does one shot do that? Well, I
Oh well, that's kind of spoilery.
yeah,
But
spoil
yeah,
spoil that out.
one
Because
shot does do things similar to that.
okay, well, yeah, like in terms of going into the files, like I was thinking, like you're having trouble with a boss, you just delete them, or like at some point there's like a boss, yeah, and like yeah, you just like delete a boss, and then
That's
yeah,
so funny.
you just delete them, and then it's like the like the story changes as a result because like that character is just gone.
You've erased them from the entire
Yeah,
universe.
pretty much. So,
That's
like,
such a fantastic idea.
like it would be hellish in terms of like game scope, but as like a tech demo kind of thing, it would be kind of fun. Like you get stuck on a boss, you're like, fuck this, delete. It's like just gone.
That's
So
so funny.
that was a concept I had. I think like another kind which would be much more ambitious in scope would be like switching around the characters, kind of like a TS Underswap kind of deal, where like it's like role swaps, but like you're the one doing it, where like you switch like
Ooh,
file names of characters and whatever.
interesting.
Um, but that would be like too much in scope. It's just a concept. And then in terms of like less intense concepts, just like a platformer game that has Spep as the playable character.
Good old Spep.
Yeah. And of course, if you've played Underswap, you would realize just how badly a game like that would devolve into
God,
stupidity.
I played that game maybe all of 5 minutes before my brain melted.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell Lolica was thinking when they made that. It's like they just like decided, you know what? I'm gonna do it, and they did it, and had like virtually almost no input whatsoever from anyone on the team.
Oh my God. Will there
Um,
be a sequel?
they actually were planning to work on one, but that was years ago, and it hasn't happened.
Aw.
So we probably won't have a sequel, and I don't know. If anything, we might have like some kind of reference to it in Spep mode and TS, but
Oh yeah, Spep mode. How's that coming along, by the way?
it's going. It's going. We oh boy, we have ideas, all right. Yeah, we have ideas for Spep mode, all right. It's in the game, all right. It's oh boy. It's I
Watching you struggle to find the words for it makes me so excited.
it's it it happens.
Yeah.
It happens. Yeah.
Cool, dude.
Or it's nothing as bad as Underswap. Like it's not gonna it's not gonna get as bad as that is. It's more on the absurd side for most of it, and I don't think it's going to make you uncomfortable. I don't think it
Oh
will.
God.
I don't think it will.
Cockbone just comes out of nowhere and beats your ass.
Yeah, because it's like this one is being made by like the whole team, whereas the other one was made by like one person. So with this, we're looking at like we don't want to make people uncomfortable with this, or at least we
I
don't want
mean,
to make people uncomfortable with certain things.
I'm tempting fate with this, but I don't know how you could do that with Spec mode.
We're not doing another Moyai scene.
Another what?
Don't you? Oh wait, you didn't play through all. Well, there's this
I
part
didn't.
in Underswap where there's this like stripper that has a moai head, and you have to like get ravioli and like rub it into its back.
What?
It was a really uncomfortable, like drawn out scene. So you can get a key card to leave Spepville.
Oh my god.
I need to say this again. Lollica's the one who wrote all of that. We didn't do that. We were just as shocked as everyone else when we played it for the first time.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Wow, this really took a turn.
Hey, we have a content warning on it for a reason. Read the content warning. It's bad.
You put like the parental advisory logo on it.
Yeah, that'll be for Spep mode too.
Wow.
Honestly, once we finish TS, we should just like continue Spep mode and do it for every area, except like the budget is gone, so it's just like it's just like a static sprite sliding around empty areas.
And then he walks out of like a green screen and like into a studio and then just leaves the building.
Okay, that's actually not a bad idea. Spep.
He's typing it out.
Screen into a green screen studio room with cameras and a crew.
You have all like the TS members.
Just like Spep.
Oh.
He walks out of the studio, gets into his
Lamborghini.
Which has a Spep face on the front, and drives off into the sunset, which has a Spep face on the sun.
I should probably put an image of Spep on screen when we start talking about him.
There we go. Spep walks off of the screen into a green screen studio room with cameras and a crew that looks just like Spep. And then he walks out of the studio, gets into his Lamborghini, which has a Spep face on the front, and drives off into the sunset with a Spep face on the sun. Honestly, that's pretty much the level of shit that's going to be in Spep mode anyways.
That's so funny. I feel like Spep mode is just a repository for all like the stupid garbage or whatever you come up with just on a regular basis. You all just throw it into a document and then just pick apart whatever you think is funny.
Yeah, we just come up with stupid ideas, and we're like, you know what, let's just do that. Like, I mentioned Doki Doki before. I'm not going to get into this, but there's something all right.
Oh god,
it's something that It's something I voice acted back in like 2016, so I'm excited for that.
Speaking of things you made in 2016, do we want to talk about the roleplay sprites you made? I do remember those.
Is this a question that was on the thing?
Maybe.
Oh god.
Right. You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
No. I used to run some Undertale roleplay blogs, one of which had like 1,000 followers, and they were really bad and kind of fanon, and I made my own talk sprites. Where
you don't have to put them on screen. We can stop talking about it.
I have to now.
No, you don't.
I have Sans. Do I have the sad? Oh, no, that's just Papyrus. That's just Papyrus. Or Sans. Do I have the sad ones where he starts crying? No, that's Papyrus, right? So there's Sans. Wait, no. I have to start with this one. Sorry. Here's this one. And this one.
He's getting sadder. No.
And then this one.
No.
And then this one. And then this one.
Oh my god. No.
And then this one. And then finally.
There are so many.
Face when.
My face when.
Where's the Underfell ones?
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Here's this one. This one. There's this one. There's a bunch. Is this one?
Why are there so many? You just
Where's-
why?
Is this one? Oh, I
There's
can like send you all the here. Like I'll just like send all of them. Here we go.
there's
Oh, too
so
many
many.
uploads.
There are so many.
Yeah, that one face. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh man.
Yeah, I got a bunch of different faces. What else do I
How
have?
many of these did you actually use? Good old reliable.
Wait, is this one? No.
Why is this
wait.
cap like off? Like there's 1 pixel higher than.
Is this one in the shitpost folder? Where? Oh, here we go.
Oh yeah, of course. This is a classic.
I'm not even gonna give context for that one.
Yeah, that's a classic. I've seen that before.
Yeah, I guess that's the. Actually, no, wait. I can like show one more.
Just one more. Just one more for the road. Oh my god.
Horror tale. No,
I can just see you sitting down in like Photoshop, just like making.
No,
this.
I'm going through my folder. No, I used what the fuck are these? Disbelief papyrus.
Oh no.
Ooh. What
have you found? I don't like this.
Here you go.
Yeah, for all audio listeners, you're gonna have to tap back into the stream for this one. Not stream. Why'd I say that?
These suck. He's so sad.
He's
crying.
sad. He's so sad. Why is he crying?
He's sad, and he is crying because he is sad.
That's so funny. Speaking of which, when's TS Disbelief coming out?
Never fuck you.
I love looking up keywords like that on YouTube just to see what comes up because it's always fantastic. God,
yeah, it's interesting. All right.
I don't feel like there's any other community like Undertale that can take two complete like that just like combine concepts together and then just never do anything with them outside of a single character design. Like and like it started off with people taking like things like Undertale and Underswap and then combining them, and now it's like, oh, here's my take on the error swap disbelief, guys. Like I can't think of another community that does things like that.
I mean, there's a lot of communities out there that do that. It's just that because Undertale's so big, it's a lot more.
It feels like it's so much more common in this community.
Yeah.
And it really just, and you know, it breaks out into just some of the most interesting, not so much case studies, but I feel like the community is very, like I said, unique in the sense that you can get some very, very interesting concepts from people just combining two things that other completely unrelated people made.
Oh, yeah.
Like, even in the early days, you had, like, Underswap and Underfell, and then people were like, but what if we combined them?
Mm-hmm.
And that, I just think it's so interesting. It's so fascinating just to see how that can just sort of, how the, just sort of family tree grows, so to speak.
Yeah.
I find it fascinating.
It is.
Okay, getting back on track just a little bit. What other things do you want to talk about in relation to TS Underswap? Like, what do you, you know, just what's on your mind about it?
I don't know. I mean, do you have any more questions or?
Well, not particularly. I think I've gone through most of these. I'm curious. Like, what are you, you know, just like, how is it how, not so much how has it affected your life, but how has it sort of, like, has it made any kind of difference being a part of something like this?
Well, first of all, I'm really happy that, you know, being a part of this has given me the opportunity to get to know so many like just such creative, skilled people. Um, like every single person on the team, um, I I really look up to every single person that's on the team. Every person who has contributed to this project has my. I'm trying to think of words. I'm having trouble with words.
You're fine.
I'm really happy to know every single person who is a part of this project. They're really just such amazing people, and I'm really lucky to know them and be friends with a lot of them. I'm really happy that working on this project has given me the opportunity to get to know even more people and work on other projects too. Like Delta Traveler, that's a cool one. Inverted Fate, Story
Oh
Shift.
yeah.
I've helped out with a bunch of different projects, and I'm really happy that ultimately being a part of the Undertale community has given me the opportunity to be a part of so much and to kind of further hone my skills as a sprite artist, a writer, and kind of like understanding the intricacies of like game development and project development and organization. So when I want to go into game development and design as a career, then I have, I already have like a basic understanding of how a lot of things works and personal experience. So I'm definitely really happy about that, and I'm also just really happy that TS has really given me something to do with my life. I'm really honored that I get the opportunity to be a part of something like this and to get to be the team lead. And I'm just, I want to make sure that while we work on this project, that everyone working on it is happy with it, that they're comfortable with it, that they're enjoying working on it, that they feel like their contributions are valued, that their input is valued.
Yeah.
Um, I have so much fun working on it, and I want to make sure that everyone else who works on it has just as much fun and looks forward to it, I guess, because I know it's just had such a positive impact on my life that I really want to make sure that either for people who work on it or play it and enjoy it, I want to make sure that TS has a positive impact on their lives because I know a lot of people can use that.
It's really nice.
Because it always makes me really happy when I see people like really excited about TS or looking forward to stuff because it because TS is something that makes me really happy and it's something I really look forward to even as like the lead dev and who's developing it, like helping develop it and everything and organizing stuff. I get really excited to work on things, to get things rolling, and I get really excited to see people's reactions and stuff. I know when the demo came out, I was constantly looking it up to see people's reaction videos and stuff. And whenever we've had somebody play test one of the in development builds, like a lot of the new people that joined the team, they all loved it. They said that it gave them the exact same feeling that playing Undertale did for the first time, and we had people say that about Ruined Home, and that was such high praise that I I I, I still can't even believe that we managed to pull something off like that. That's such that's such high praise, and I'm just honored. Um, so I want to make sure that we keep doing what we're doing, and we keep giving people things to look forward to, especially since the world has been a shit.
Yeah. Well, that's really great to hear, man. And it sounds like it's been mission accomplished so far.
Yeah, I'm really excited for what the future has in store.
Yeah. And on that note, I think we've found a pretty good place to wrap it up. You guys can find the link for TS Underswap in the description. All that good stuff. Beef. Aside from that, do you want to shout out anything like else of yours?
Of mine,
Just in general.
I can read. I'm gonna read my card and just list off all the projects I'm a part of and shout them out.
All right.
So, everything that I've been a part of that I want to shout out. First of all, I want to shout out Delta Traveler by Rhino GG. Really cool fan game. Check that out. Inverted Fate by Dorked. It is an amazing sprite comic that has been running for years. Has accompanying music. It has accompanying like video animations, playable battles by Philip All. It's amazing. You've got to go check it out. The Story Shift reboot by Voltra, which is a reboot of the original Story Shift AU, which had a sprite comic. This time it's in a write-up format with accompanying visuals and music. It's fantastic. It's still ongoing, albeit slowly, so go check that out. I'm not in the Friday Night Funkin' much anymore, but definitely check out the D-Sides mod. I'm the voice actor for Week 6 Sensei. Really excited for all those songs to be heard. I recorded a lot of stupid shit for that, and I'm really excited for people to hear that. Let's see, Rupture Tale by Tiled. That is a great AU. It's a sprite comic for Undertale that takes place after a failed genocide route. Check that out. Four Suits by Squimpus. It's still in the works right now, but when it comes out, absolutely check that out. I'd say definitely check out Goner Dweller by Trezzy. That's a really cool ongoing
Oh, I
thing right
just saw
now.
that. It looks really
Yeah, he
cool.
has some video animations that he wrote and then Max made. Really check that out. It's really cool. It's like an Undertale creepypasta kind of deal. And speaking of Max, absolutely check out the Ribbit mod for Deltarune. It's weird as shit and it's really good. Um, and I guess Undertale Bits and Pieces, Undertale Yellow, uh, Undertale Don't Forget. Just a lot of cool projects in general that I know the people behind them. Absolutely check those out. They're really good. So
Cool.
yeah,
Well,
I,
thanks.
prob- I probably forgot a bunch of stuff, but that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, that was a lot, and thanks for giving me all that to put in the description. I really fucking appreciate that, man. Thanks a lot. No, but seriously, thank you very much, Beeth, for coming on. It has
No
been a
problem.
pleasure, my friend.
It was great being here and just talking and everything. I really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
of course. And with that, I will see you guys on the next episode of the Rec Room Podcast. Stay cool, everybody. Take care.
Yippee!